Hi, my name is Natalie, Imani.
And I am Tanikka Charraé.
And we are your singer friends.
Yes. I know you guys have heard the term before, especially if you are a singer. Your singer friend, my singer friend such and such. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're friends and we're singer friends. So we felt like this would be an ideal podcast that was perfectly on brand for us. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, we have created this space to share everything we know about singing, being an artist, taking care of your voice, being a songwriter, and a professional background vocalist.
Yes, of course. Who can forget? So Nat, why don't you start off and let the people know who you are, where you come from, what you do, who you be.
So I am a professional vocalist. I have been touring and singing, traveling the world for over 20 years now. I've sung background for John Legend, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Lauryn Hill, Jasmine Sullivan, Beyonce, and more. Needless to say, I know a little bit about singing and traveling and touring and doing this background singer and singer artist thing.
I
might know a little bit.
You think?
Yes, I'm also a vocal coach. I've been vocal coaching for the past, I think, about 4 years now. And I'm also the owner of a beautiful lipstick brand called Passion Mark Beauty.
Passion Mark Beauty.
Yes. And Tanikka Charraé, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, well, thank you, Natalie Imani. So I too am a singer, songwriter. I am from, as I affectionately say, the Philadelphia. And I've been singing, professional background singing for, I want to say at least 16 years. Natalie been in the game a little longer than me, as you can see. But I'm also an independent artist, so I do singing, I do songwriting. I've sung with Lauryn Hill, Nas, the Fugees, pretty much all the Marleys at this point. The new Marleys, the old Marleys. Yeah, I mean, there's a few others that I've probably forgotten, but nonetheless, yes, there's several folks that I sing with. I primarily sing with Lauryn Hill, Miss Lauryn Hill, a lot of majority of the time, but I sing with whomever. Yes. And I guess that's it for me. That sums it up.
And you're an entrepreneur.
Oh, gosh.
Yes,
wow.
Businesses.
She better bring me back.
A very good businesswoman, this woman over here.
Why, thank you.
Spreadsheets, invoice. What is these invoices you're creating?
Oh, yeah.
Making programs and systems.
Yo. Well, thank you. See, that's why you need friends. Real ones. One, because you be forgetting and they remind you of stuff. Because I for sure completely forgot that whole section. Mm-hmm. Okay, but yeah, so
she's not just my singer friend. She my business friend over here. Okay?
That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yes, I have a company called Pretty Soul, but we are rebranding. We're in the process of rebranding. And I also have an all vocal agency called The Background View, VU for Voices United. Natalie told me that I need to be sure that I let people know what the VU actually stands for. So Voices United, where there's staffing, vocal staffing, in addition to vocal production, composing, tours, all the things, all the likes. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. You nice too, Passion Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah. We are starting a podcast. It is, called obviously Your Singer Friends, but it is going to be filled with a lot of information that is things that we've acquired from our travels, things that we've acquired from our careers, things that we've just acquired and we want to share. I think that every now and again, it's a conversation space with friends, amongst friends. So we're going to have real conversations and things that are kind of fun or just quirky or even just my opinion and your opinion. And we're going to state when that happens. And that's okay.
Yeah, and I guess we should also share that we just came back from a 6-week tour with Miss Lauryn Hill together.
We did.
And I think this is the second tour we've done together.
Yeah, probably second, yeah.
So we've toured together. We've done plenty of rehearsals and studio sessions together. So we have not only have a lot in common, but we've also actually worked with each other to know like how we work, how we get along, how good we are at what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there've been so many nights where we just stay up chatting and talking. And I think that we are very candid, very honest, very straightforward, very real. I think a lot of times in the music industry, you feel like you have to like have this like certain persona or like, you know, be like this, you know,
put together.
Yeah, like you have to be like polished and kind and sweet, and you know, and that is very important. But I think with each other, we give each other space to be ourselves and to be honest without judgment, which makes us, I think, not just singer friends, but like just real friends. You know, so I think that's part of the reason why we felt inspired to kind of share a lot of our thoughts and views with all of you, because we have a lot in common, and then we also have our differences as well. Yeah. And I think it'll be cool to share those things.
Yeah, we have an exciting, I keep calling it a season. It's not a real season. I've apparently made up my own terminology in production, but we have a very exciting topics and discussions that we want to go over, because I really think that our space is so niched and it's just not necessarily always covered. A lot of times we're lumped in with the band because we are actually a part of the band, but our instrumentation is different. Just like, you know, in the band, there's keyboard players. So keyboard players are a niched audience as well. We're the singers. We're a niched audience. There's a certain level of a lot of things that has to happen for us to be right, get right, sound right, look right, all the things. And we want to just kind of like share a lot of that with you, just getting an idea of what it looks like. Because I just really don't know that there's too many spaces that are like letting a lot of that in or letting a lot of people in.
Yeah, so welcome. We hope that the information that we share is valuable. Yes. While we are candid and honest, we also are very positive. So we like to try to keep everything that we share and talk about, you know, we always want to make sure that it has a positive spin on it. And, you know.
And we care.
Yeah.
You know, we genuinely love our singer friends, if you will. And the funny thing is, I honestly just said that naturally without even like trying to punch the punchline of it. But, you know, we love our singer friends. And at the same time, I think that we have both shared this responsibility of, or this burden rather, of wanting to grow this community and really like bridge people together, create different opportunities for our singer friends where they can just grow and have long lasting careers and community, because we find that community is really helpful. I think that that's, you know, building off of what you were saying, what has helped sustain our relationship is because we've kind of poured into one another, you know? Hey, listen, what you got going on? Oh, I heard your new single. Oh, it's dope, you know, blah, 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 blah. And just pouring into one another and genuinely having a connection. And I think that that has helped carry us along the way, like helped us along the way. I'm not saying, you know, that was the biggest thing that like brought us over the mountain, but it's helpful to have people that do what you do or do what you're aspiring to do, and you're connected with them. You get to talk to them, pick their brain, you know, be encouraged by them. And I think that that's just what we're trying to genuinely create amongst ourselves and with our other singer friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I also want to apologize ahead of time. My voice sounds like hot garbage right now. It is on the mend. I was ill these past 3 days, 4 days.
As you know, which we've reiterated a million times, that we are your singer friends.
Yes.
I felt like one of the main important things for us to discuss on this very first episode is competition.
Ooh, good one.
Yes, I think that is a very important thing, because sometimes it can hinder people from becoming friends and making friends in the music industry, right? So I want to start with what each of our personal views are when it comes to being competitive. So what are your thoughts on being competitive as a singer?
Ooh, you as the most. Listen, Natalie as the most competitive person in the world. What her thoughts were. It's like, no, I'm playing.
Oh, I was about to say, really? Are you?
I am kind of competitive.
Wow. I never knew that about you. What? I never knew that.
Oh yes, I am. We haven't played no games together. We play. Yes, we. No, you had to have known that. We play games together. Are you kidding me?
That is so funny.
Do you not remember Phase 10?
All right. So what are your thoughts?
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
I was about to say, girl, do you not remember? Okay. Okay. So first, this is a great question. But the very first thing I wanted to do was actually just define what competition was or competitiveness was, just to give us like a standard, like a landing page, if you will, of where to start. Okay. So it's defined online as the act or process of trying to get or win something, such as a prize or a high level of success that someone else is trying to get or win. I think that's a solid explanation.
Yes.
So that is what is defined as competition, because when I go to look up competitive, it's going to say what competition is. So that is the definition. And I think when we look at it, I'm trying to get my mic so I can look at you and look at the people. But when I think of like looking at competitiveness in the music industry as a vocalist, I think immediately when I first started coming into the industry, like when I first came into the industry, I was so green, but I was so like, I wanted to learn. I wanted, to be on every single thing. I wanted to be, anywhere I could get or what I could do. I was just trying to get a foot in the door. But what happened was I would see people who were getting in at the same level as me, getting different opportunities that I wouldn't be getting. Mm-hmm. And because I would work so hard, I would think it was something about me, or I would be like, oh my gosh, like I got to do more. I got to I'm not being seen. People, look, one thing I can do is sing, another thing I can do is write a song and have some melodies. So what's happening? Like, where's the disconnect, And so I didn't make it a me thing, or like I was the problem on why I wasn't getting a lot of different opportunities. And at times that would become really disheartening and even depressing. So that's how it was initially in the beginning, because I don't think I just kind of knew that it didn't have to be that way per se, because what makes it that way, honestly, is the fact that everybody's vying for these positions, right? Everybody wants to be a singer. Everybody wants to travel the world. Everybody can sing, and so that's why if one person falls out, it's easy. Oh, you're replaceable. It's nothing. So that natural competition is hovering. Regardless of the space, regardless of if it is a friendly space, a not friendly space, that you could get replaced, or that somebody else could be vying for your spot, or, not necessarily like once you're in it and, somebody else is like, you're on like a cutthroat reality show, but just explaining that like somebody always wants that spot. And so I think that having that air, having that energy around what it is that you do, one, it's a good thing where it keeps you on your P's and Q's. It keeps you on your toes. But then on the other side, I think it can sometimes become challenging in terms of the cliques that we were talking about earlier. Now only certain people, you're only going to call your certain friends for certain gigs, or you're only going to like be sure that you look out for, whatever. And it does create different niches, different cliques, different competitiveness, if you don't keep in mind that this is a job. I think that was the thing that helped me be like, oh, okay, this is not an ancient Grecian sport where
I feel like I try not to. I won't even say that I try not to. I just feel like I've never subscribed to being competitive. I feel like, okay, what's the job that I need to do? And how can I do it the best that I can? And yeah, I mean,
but you said something. The key, I think, is, again, it was about making it about the job, right? It was removing the people and making it about the work. That's when it becomes competitive, when you're making it about the people.
That part.
Yeah. Like when you're like, okay, I see this girl, or I know this, I'm an alto, so I know this alto out there be smashing, blah, 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 blah. When I make it about that person, it takes away from, one, the music, and two, the job. So, yeah.
And I imagine that that can cause you to start feeling a lot of other feelings on the inside about yourself. Because you're like, oh, they're better at this, they're better at that. So then you start to focus more on what you're not as good at.
Yeah.
And then you start to feel like, maybe you're not enough, or like, maybe you aren't that good. You just start to have all these like negative emotions and feelings about yourself because you're comparing yourself.
Mad insecurities, for sure.
Yeah. So I think that being competitive and like being like comparing yourself to other people can have like a negative effect on you. But I do think sometimes having that little bit of positive, I feel like there has to be a positive part of competition. You know what I mean? Like maybe the word wouldn't be competition then.
Yeah.
But I think there is a positive way to allow yourself to just want to be the best, right? But like you said, it's not looking at the other person.
It's that.
It's looking at what's the job that needs to be done and how can I do that job at the best that I can.
I think that's the nail on the head. I think that when you remove the other people, as we discovered, okay. But I think if you remove the other person and you make it more about you, right? So it's like, if, you hear these cute little cliches like, my only competition is myself, right? And you like, oh, okay, more power to you. But if in real life you actually made it that, like, okay, so for me, for instance, I started out singing 16, 17 years ago background. If I actually go back and I compare myself to myself, you know what I mean? Like, and see the growth. One, that's motivating in myself. Like, dang, I came a long way. But then two, it's more about like, okay, how can I get me better for me, for this next job, for this music, because this music is challenging, for this opportunity, because this opportunity is challenging. How can I ready me? How can I excel me? How can I make me better? Right. And so again, the competitiveness does come when you are looking at other people. Comparison obviously is hand in hand with the competition. And I think at the same time, the lesson to be learned, if anything that I've learned, is to remove the other person or other people and literally insert me and figure out how to make me better and figure out like making it about me. Yeah. And really realizing that what's for me is for me. That part. That right there gave me such freedom. Yes. That right there. Yes, that's the biggest thing. Because especially if you're going out there to audition. Yeah. Right? You're going out, you're auditioning. Yeah. And your first thing is, if you have at the forefront of your mind, oh, I'm going to make sure I go in there and I kill it and I sing better than such and such because such and such is going to go in there and do this. Driving you so crazy to go in there and like, smash and kill. And then, God forbid, you don't get it. Then you're mad at yourself. Like, oh my gosh, like what did I do wrong? Maybe it just wasn't for you. Maybe it just wasn't for you. You weren't the right fit for the situation that they had, the spot. Yeah. A lot of times with auditions, it's casting. Yeah, literally. They already have in their mind what they're looking for, what they want. You know what I mean? And maybe you just didn't fit that mode. Yeah, so I think that with our first topic being competitiveness, right? And kind of circling this around the ability to make friends, not only just making friends, but making friends with other singers. I think that if you constantly have this energy of being competitive, how will you make any friends? You're not. You're not. You making real weird friends, cause like your energy, and the inside you hate them, or like side eyeing them. Right, something's happening. Right. So I do think so. Yeah, I don't. What would the word be? Drive. So I think it's important to have
drive and to be
Inspiration,
driven.
drive.
Yeah, like for both of us to be that way as singers in the music industry, right? And I think that there's a healthy, positive way to be driven and go after your goals without looking to the left and to the right to see where everybody else is and what they're up to.
I think it's just a decision.
Like focusing on your own path, your own abilities, your own goals. And, you know, if her and I are going for the same opportunity and she gets it and I don't, I'm not looking and saying, oh, what did she do that I didn't do? I'm saying, girl, let's go out for drinks. I'm happy for you. Like, that's so exciting. You know what I mean? And that just wasn't the opportunity for me. And there's always more. It's a whole big earth. It's a whole big world.
I think you hit the nail on the head, though. It's the idea of understanding what's for me is for me.
Yes.
That's the true mature approach, and I think that's the real approach. Like I think that's it. Like you couldn't have said it any better than that. Yeah. And I think that resigning to that, because there's been some opportunities even in my more seasoned area of singing where I've been like, oh man, and I have to remind myself of that. Like what's for you is for you. Yeah. Like this just wasn't your opportunity, and that's okay. You're not overlooked. You're still a great singer. And I think that's the thing I had to keep reminding myself of too. Because sometimes I was just like, I was putting my value and even the value of my voice on getting the gig. And that's like not healthy.
Yeah, I think there's I think that's important to know, like, okay, that opportunity just wasn't for me. But I think it is also important to always walk away from every situation with some kind of lesson for yourself. Like whether it's, oh, maybe I need to try selecting a different audition type of song. Or maybe there's a part of my voice that I need to strengthen a little bit, you know, like what can I do to be better, you know? And I think that's mainly like if you're like, although that opportunity wasn't for me, that was something that I really wanted. So what are the things, like if I'm starting a new opportunity, a new gig, can I look at videos and see like what they were up to? What were they wearing? What were they singing? What were they, you know what I mean? Just to like learn more about how I can one up myself for the next time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I agree. I think we're saying pretty much the same thing as we're talking it out. And it's basically, I guess to sum this whole thing up or this section up, I would say to new singers coming in or singers who haven't necessarily sung on a professional level or haven't been awarded that opportunity yet, to actually look at singing or look at the industry as how can you be better or how can you be the best in this situation, one. And two, don't look at the other singers, look at yourself and how you can improve yourself. And then three, also just keep in mind that the opportunities that are for you are going to present themselves for you and literally be for you, and really rest your hat in that. Because you don't want an opportunity that's not for you. Like that's what you don't want. Being at a gig where you don't want to be is like, that's such a terrible feeling. And don't let there be nobody there that you don't know. Like that is horrible.
Yeah, because singing and traveling, like it's a major sacrifice.
And it's
you know
intimate.
What I mean? Like you're taking time away from your family to go travel. And yes, it's fun and you know you're having a good time. But you're making personal sacrifices to be on that gig and to take that opportunity. So you kind of want to make sure that it's something that, you know, brings you joy and that you're kind of happy to be a part of. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's it. I think we covered competition. Like you brought it up and I was like, I don't think I thought about it in that way, but it's a good perspective, especially for new singers to really keep in mind, like not getting caught up in that. Keeping in mind really your focus on what you're doing and what you want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was sitting there brainstorming and I'm like, singer friends, like what's something that I would think about? And I think that, you know, I've never had this conversation to ask anybody what their views are on being competitive. I just know what my own personal view of it is. And I can only imagine, like, if you go into this music industry thinking, I don't care about having friends, I just want to be the best. You know, like that's going to be a lonely road.
One thing though, the last thing I would say that you kind of brought up in the brainstorming around this, but one of the topics that I really think we need to address is the pride part / ego part, and managing your emotions in that, meaning you actually get the gig that everybody wanted, right? 40 million people around the world tried out for this one alto spot, this one soprano spot. And you got it. You're the one that got it. You know, obviously that brings a certain level of pride, right? And why wouldn't it? You know, you earned this position that so many people have been vying for. I think it goes back to my original point of going back to understanding your value in general, right? And then my other point of it's a job. So if I understand that it's a job that I've been going after, if I think of a 9 to 5, right? Say I'm going to go work at Google and I'm like, oh, I'm about to kill it. I'm Googling. And I go and I work at Google. Like, there's several people that have applied for this position, right? Am I going to take to social media now and be like, you losers out there ain't got nothing on me. I killed it. Yeah.
Can you imagine? That is crazy.
Could you imagine?
That's nuts.
But in the music world, it can get kind of crazy like that because people are artists and they're artsy and they're expressive and they're egotistical and they're narcissistic and all of that, right? So those are real things. And you don't want to be that. Like, you can be whoever you want to be. I mean, fine. But do you really want to be that? Like, is that who you want to be? So you have to keep in mind, this is a job. This does not mean that I'm the god of the universe. This does not mean, you know, and again, back to the value part, right? This doesn't validate your gift or your talent. You've got to be confident in that ahead of time. You got to know that ahead of time. Even if you're not the fullest, most confident vocalist in the world, because I don't think that everybody is. But you got to know, like, yo, I'm good. I know what I bring to the table. I know that I've got room for improvement. I take this time out and I actually, you know, work on my craft and I work on my skill. So, like, again, it's going back to you putting it about you and knowing that what you did, but that is the fruit of what you've done. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're the worst vocalist or the best vocalist or getting it. I would say if you're getting this position, it doesn't mean that you're the best vocalist in the world. It doesn't mean any of these things. There's some people who are mediocre singers that have gotten jobs, and it's because, like Nat said, people have already had in their mind, hey, we want this girl who's 5'8", blonde hair, straight up and down, big boobs. Look, right? Like, I don't know. I just threw that last one in there for fun.
Casting.
But right. Can sing enough, right? And guess what? If that's the memo, you still ain't the best singer in the world, right? So don't inflate yourself or gas your own self up. Understand that you getting the gig, you need to still maintain and manage your emotions and understand that this is an opportunity that's amazing, that you are awarded, and just treat it that way as if it's the job that you want to show up for and put your name to it with excellence. Yeah.
Last year, and top of the year, I auditioned to sing for Beyonce. I was on tour on the Renaissance World Tour last year. One of Pure Honey in the movie, everything. But she might do the next tour and decide she doesn't want me to be her background singer. John Legend might decide he doesn't want me to be his. I've been with him for almost 15 years. He might decide one day, this isn't what I want anymore. So, but I can't sit there and think, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? Why didn't they want me to? Sometimes that's just what the artist wants to do. So it's like, you can't allow your identity and who you are to be so wrapped up in getting these opportunities and keeping these opportunities. You just do what you do at the best of your ability and continue to create goals for yourself. And that's another reason, and we'll talk, in future episodes. That's another reason why it's important to create a name for yourself. I think the number one thing that's important for everyone to kind of walk away with, like a little tip or information that we feel like you should kind of hold on, a little nugget, is really the importance of managing your emotions when it comes to being competitive, having pride, being disappointed, feeling like you're enough for your opportunities, all those different things, kind of managing your emotions and really deciding how you want to feel about these things, how you feel about yourself, and how important it is for you to just kind of have your own positive view on who you are as a singer, a vocalist, and who you are as a person, really.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think you said everything.
So did you.
Oh, look at me. Saying all the things. My nugget would be, remember, you're only trying to grow and make yourself excellent. This is a job, and you should be not even competing with yourself, but driven by yourself. So, like I was saying, I'll listen back to the shows, and I'll listen to weak spots. I'll listen to strengths. I'll listen to what translated. I'll listen to what didn't. And I'll just try to improve on it. But that's me listening to me. I'm not, I'll listen to other vocalists that are in my voice range for inspiration and for goals, if you will. But now it's not necessarily to outshine or beat or be better than.
Right.
Well, I will say this. This was so much fun. Like our first episode, super cute, super fun, super informative. I don't have any other word besides super. So we said positivity, right? But yeah, so welcome again. We plan to post on YouTube, on our pages, everywhere, bi-monthly. We are committed to our growing community.
So that's every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Yes. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
You can follow your singer friends on my Instagram.
Yeah, where can they find you, girl?
Yes, Natalie Imani on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Tanikka Charraé.
2 Ks, 2 Rs. Everywhere. Same thing. Tanikka Charraé everywhere. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, which may not be around very much longer.
Oh, really?
Allegedly. We'll see. But there too.
All right, cool. We'll be sharing all of our tips, tricks, information, all the things.
And please engage with us. Like that,
Yes.
we are building a community. That is the point. Like we want you guys to, speak up, engage with one another. Because that's the thing. We're facilitating this space for all of us, but also for singers to engage with one another.
Yeah, stay tuned. I think we'll probably on our Instagram stories always ask a question or have you guys submit a song or something so that you guys can interact with us, and we'll love to share it on our podcast.
We have a lot in store coming in.
Very.
So thank you guys so much for joining us. We pray that we will see you guys the week after next.
Yes.
I am Tanikka Charraé.
I am Natalie Imani, and we are your singer friends.
And
we just want to say thank you for watching our show.